Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk to you guys about mental health. Obviously I want to talk about my own experience and where I've been and where I am now. I want to talk to you guys about how I was able to seek help and how I was able to I feel like I've come a long way. I think I still go through my own struggles, but I think I've come a long way from where I was 5-6 years ago. Yeah, so to get into it, I think how it started for me is, well, when I was about sort of 14, 15, I just remember having a friendship group where it was myself and some other people, and two of those people in that group were going through some really hard times at home, and I think so much of it started to come to school, and because I was around them all the time and these were people that were my best friends, I was constantly trying to be there for them, make sure that I could do everything I could to support them and just to help pick up their mood and stuff. And it was quite difficult because the person I am, I'm quite a sensitive person, like I'm quite emotional, so you sort of absorb energies that are around me. So for example, if someone around me is really sad, within a matter of minutes I'm going to start to feel the exact same way. Like initially I'll try and lift the spirits and stuff, but once I see that it's not really working, it's going to start to weigh down on me, and I'll start sort of reciprocating that same energy that I'm being given. And I think at first I thought, oh no, I'm just a bit sad, because obviously I feel for my friends, like I'm very like an empathetic person and I feel for what they're going through. But then before I knew it, I feel like it was really starting to affect me, and I'd go home, I wouldn't really speak to my mum, I feel like I just shut down, and I feel like I was just keeping to myself, and I wasn't really voicing what was going on. Like when I was in school, all I focused on was making sure that my friends were good, and we'd always focus on their problems. But I felt like just because you couldn't visibly see that it was affecting me, and I'm pretty sure other people in the group as well were being affected, we never really checked up on the other people. And yeah, before I knew it, I feel like I started to notice that I was like constantly down. I was always feeling like something isn't right. Even though I was happy, I still felt like, oh, there's something missing, And I think after a while, it sort of just became normal to me. It sort of just became something that I didn't even realise. It was just, I was constantly like that, and it's like I'd adopted this new sort of personality, and this is just how I face the day. And if you know me, I'm not that type of person at all. Like I'm such like a happy person. Yeah, I just feel like I just didn't recognise myself. And then it sort of continued for a couple of years, and then I remember when I was about 16 now, there was a time I had my boyfriend at the time. I was really close to him, and obviously he literally knew every single thing about me. And I remember always saying to him, like, babe, I just feel so down today. I feel really down. And at the time, down is the only word that I knew. Like I couldn't say depressed. I couldn't say like I feel sad. I couldn't say that because it's like I didn't feel sad, but I just felt down. Like just my mood was down. I wasn't having negative thoughts, but I just felt really like not myself. And I remember always saying that to him all the time. And then I just feel like progressively it just got worse. And obviously like when I'd say it to him, obviously he'd do his best to sort of cheer me up and lift my spirits and stuff. And then I remember at one point it got so bad that I just remember myself like attempting self-harm. And for me, that was such a big eye-opener, because I was like, that is not me, that is not something I do, that is not something I've ever thought about ever. And it's like when I was doing it, it's like I didn't even think about it. I just remember like that night I went to bed and I just felt like I'd lost it. I was like, what is going on? Like I was so numb to everything, but I was so aware of the fact that this isn't me, like this isn't normal. And I remember the following week now, I'd gone to school and I was speaking to my boyfriend again, and he could tell now I was really distant. He was like, babe, what's wrong? And I was like, I need to tell you something. And I told him, and he was like, he just looked so like devastated, and he was like, babe, like I genuinely think you need to go and see someone. Like I think you're depressed. Like obviously I'm here for you and I support you, but you genuinely need to go and speak to someone, because I know you're not that type of person. Like I know who you are, that's not who you are. And honestly, I was so thankful for that conversation, because if it wasn't for him, I feel like he's the first person that I told actually took me seriously. Because I remember a few weeks back, I tried to speak to my mum about it. I was like, oh mum, I think I'm depressed. And she literally said to me, oh, like don't be silly, like black people don't get depressed, like that's not a thing. And I just felt like at the time I didn't realise how much it affected me, but looking back, it's like I sort of internalized so much pain and so much hurt for ages, just because I didn't really know, like it was sort of dismissed and sort of disregarded, and I just felt like it wasn't something to take seriously, so I let it slide. Yeah, it was just really mad. So anyway, so after speaking to my boyfriend, I then booked a doctor's appointment, and I went to the doctor's, and I was so emotional. I was crying. I was like, I'm not really sure what's going on. I just feel really sad all the time. I don't know if I'm depressed. I don't know what it is. And the reason why I kept saying depression, depressed, all of this is because at the time, it's like I didn't really know much about mental health, and it's like the only sort of mental health disorder I was aware of was depression, and that's because my friends around me were, you know, that was the extreme, and that's all I knew. So obviously when I was speaking to my doctor now, I was crying. I was like, oh man, I don't really know what's going on because that's not who I am. And honestly speaking to you guys, like I felt so ashamed. I was so ashamed of being there. I was like, that's not me. Like it was just a really sad time for me, and I just remember just not knowing how to feel and, you know, not knowing how to cope with everything. But yeah, when I was speaking to my doctor now, I was just saying to him every single thing. And then we basically went through this quiz, and he was sort of assessing like what my feelings were and, you know, how I was feeling. He was asking me like, do you have thoughts about harming yourself? Do you ever think about suicide? This, that. And I was thinking, right, like suicide, bro. Like I'm not that bad, but it's like every single thing else applied to me. I just never felt like, I don't know, I just never felt like for me it was that deep. I just felt like, oh, Praise, you're just a bit down. It's not that serious. But then he was like, Praise, like, you've got anxiety. I can tell it's like an anxiety disorder, and I can tell, you know, you're going through so many different things, and a lot of things are very personal. And it was, I think a lot of the things are to do with, like, for example, things that I went through in my childhood, and so many things that I'd sort of repressed and I'd never spoken about, and things that I hadn't actually addressed, and it was starting to take a big toll on me. But yeah, anyway, after that conversation, I ended up on tablets. I was taking these tablets for, I want to say about 3 years. I think I took them for just under 3 years. I used to take them every day. And I remember, like, I used to say to my friends sometimes, oh yeah, this is just for headaches. These are my headache tablets. But really and truly, it wasn't that. I was actually going through so much, and I just felt like, you know, I didn't really know how to talk about it. I didn't know who to talk to about it. I myself wasn't even comfortable with the fact that, you know, I'd had this diagnosis. And yeah, it was just a really bad time. But I remember, like, in the 3rd year, I remember saying to myself, Praise, like, you can't let this be your defining point. Like, you can't let this moment be your final verdict. Like, you know, you've got so much more to live for. You've got so much to offer. You've got so much potential. You're so smart. Like, you're so capable of doing all these things. And it's something that I had to tell myself, because I had no one telling me that. And it's like, it's something that I just had to pray about. It's something that I had to keep telling myself, like, Praise, like, you've got this, you can do this, you can do this. And I was quite glad, actually, because at the time that I was going through this, like, big emancipation, so many things around me, I felt like mental health became such a big topic, and, you know, people were starting to become more aware of it. And it's like, I no longer, all those feelings of shame and all those feelings of guilt, it's like they slowly started to disappear, and it started becoming more normal. And I genuinely think, like, it really did help. And I started, you know, picking up my passion, so I started to draw a lot more. It's like the only time I could draw was when I was feeling down and when I was feeling sad, and I didn't really know what else to do, so that's what I turned to. And I'm really thankful that, you know, that was my therapy, because I know so many people that turn to drugs, that turn to alcohol, that turn to sex, that turn to, you know, so many different things, self-harming, so many different things. And I'm honestly so grateful that that was in my experience, and, you know, I was able to sort of handle things in a way. And yeah, like, fast forwarding to today, like, I still feel, you know, I still feel very anxious a lot of the time. And I think it's one of those things that, even though I'm not taking my tablets anymore, initially I felt like when I stopped taking my tablets, that was it. Like, you don't have anxiety anymore, like, you're healed, that's it. But I've actually realised that no, actually you do have it, and it's not something, for me anyway, it's not been something that's just come and gone. It's something that is just always there, and it just takes certain things to trigger it. Like, I get nervous, I get super anxious about the tiniest things. It's definitely showed me that I'm so much stronger than I think, and, you know, you've got so much power over your emotions, you've got so much power over who you are. You just have to confront it. Things do happen, and you definitely do have the power to overcome them. All you have to do is literally just force yourself and just be brave enough to confront those emotions, because if you don't confront them, they'll eat away at you. Before you know it, you'll be in this place where you don't even recognize yourself. Like, I'm saying this to you guys because I personally have been there, and it's something that has been my reality. The realization and saying it to yourself is always the hardest bit. However, everyone needs that moment. You need that moment of realization, because without it, you can't get better. If you want to progress and you want to elevate your life and you want to do better emotionally, mentally, it's like you have to, it's sort of like you have to tear apart everything in order to become this big person. And it's just one of those things, like you just have to say to yourself, like, is this all I really want for myself? Like, is this where I see myself? Is this where I see my life heading? Like, is this enough for me? Like, am I happy to say, you know, this thing got to me, I never confronted it, and now look at me, like, you know. And I think obviously it's easier said than done, but I just want to encourage you guys, like, everyone is going through something. Everyone, like, you might not see it, might not be something that, you know, is in the public eye, it's not something that's, you know, out in the open, but believe me, like, everyone is going through their own battles. Everyone is going through, you know, their own hardships with mental health, with their own fears, with their own anxieties, with their own worries. How you treat someone could honestly, what you say to someone, you never know what your words could do to someone. Like, just make sure, you know, you are kind to one another, you know, you're supportive. If one of your friends, if one of your family members comes to you and says, like, you know, I feel ABC this way and that, my mental health, you know, is in a bit of a crisis at the moment, I don't really know what to do. Like, even though obviously none of us are therapists, like, none of us know, you know, the answer to everything. We don't have, you know, I'm not gonna bullshit you guys and say that, you know, I've got all the answers, but I genuinely think all of us know that if someone is going through something, the least you can do is listen. And even though you might not be able to say all the right things, they will feel so much better knowing that this person listened to me, they took me seriously, they didn't make me feel ashamed, they were just there. And it's so important to be kind, it's so important, you know, to spread love, it's so important to check up on your friends, to make sure that they're good. It's so important to support your friends. Like, if your friend's going through something, support them. Like, you don't have to agree with how they're coping, you don't have to agree, but just say to them, listen, like, I understand, I hear what you're pain, I hear your pain, I feel your pain, and I'm here, and I support you. If you guys feel like any of those things apply to you, like, I definitely would say, make yourself more aware of the different mental health disorders, because it's more than just anxiety, it's more than just depression. Just because someone's not crying every day, just because someone's not posting about it every single day, doesn't mean that they're not going through something. Just be kind, and that's it. So down below, I'm definitely going to leave some links to some pages that I think could help so many people. Even if it's not you personally that's going through something, and let's say you know someone, I think reading some of the things that I've attached below will definitely help you to understand, you know, how they're feeling, what they're going through, and how you can help them. Because at the end of the day, like, none of us want to know that someone passed away, they were going through these things, and we didn't help them, you know. And I just think it's really important. Just be kind, love one another, and yeah, like, it could happen to any of us. No one's exempt from this. It's something that, you know, goes on for some people's lives forever, and it's a battle that, you know, we're constantly going through. But I just want to talk about it because it's something that's so common, but it's so taboo. It's something that we don't speak about enough. But yeah, so I think I'm just going to draw this video to a close. I feel like I've been talking to you guys for absolute ages, but yeah, I just want to say to you guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate everyone that's been sharing, everyone that's been liking, commenting. I really appreciate it. In this video, I'm going to say, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will definitely do a part 2. And I kind of want to do a series actually on mental health, and I want to get more people involved on the channel as well, just to discuss this, because I think it'd be nice to hear mental health struggles from different perspectives, from different points of view. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I will definitely see you in the next one. I hope that you all stay blessed, stay prayerful, and just spread love. Thank you.